So to pick up where we left off in the last part, in this room here will be a small pedestal with a 7 by 7 tiled game board, 7 tiles by 7 tiles. Next to the game board, they'll find what resembles like a game piece with a horse head carved onto it. So this is going to represent in this puzzle the knight, in a popular chess puzzle known as the Knight's Journey, where you have to move the knight onto every square at least once without hopping onto a previous square by moving in the Knight's classic L formation. So how the party should be able to figure this out is when they put the game piece on the board, inevitably there's only two elements for them to play with. So eventually they'll have to put a piece on a square. That tile will light up green. And so anytime that they move the horse in the correct L orientation, any tile it lands on will turn green. And any time that the horse lands on an incorrect tile or a tile it's already been on, the tile will glow red. The whole game board will then glow red, flash for a few seconds, and then the lights will reset. So at least by trial of elimination, if any party that plays this isn't familiar with chess, they'll be able to figure out that they need to move the knight in an L formation to get green tiles, and once the whole game board has turned green, then this portcullis will open, revealing the next room. This portcullis here. So in this final room here, there's going to be a short precipice of temple floor that's still intact here. Separating this room will be a large chasm. So they have ways to walk around the doors here so that they at least have sure ground. And in between will be an assortment of many different vines that they'll have to swing across with, cut down, or interact with in some way to get across the chasm. Through this through this challenge here, the party will get through it, doesn't matter how, because that'll change from group to group. They eventually go through this room here. Give me a second to white out the map again. Oop. And they'll enter the final room here now, which is just one of the other exits in the Ziggurat. The Alim party doesn't want to place a huge focus on this temple here because they're more focused on the chase scene from the Yenti and they just needed a place to hide out. So this part of the dungeon should not be that long for them. Not a full dungeon, really. Just a bit of a sidetrack or a place to hide. This being the Ziggurat exit. And in this room, they'll encounter one very similar to the one they entered in. Many pillars strewn about, lots of vine growths, lots of reclaimed nature areas. But be sure to include a little bit of loot in the corner, maybe like a dusty old chest or something, to reward your players on a job well done. And that is the Alim section. Shortly, we will move on to the Haman section, which is much larger and more complicated.